He doesn't even react. He barely even fucking moves. How have you so perfectly ensured that it will work every time? I mean, he's done it 218,000 times or something, so I guess he's relatively safe, but... Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't fucking like it. Jesus Christ, man. How can you always be sure that it's gonna... Wait, are you seriously making me just wait here for 3 minutes straight? I can't do anything. There is nothing for me to do around here. Okay, here we go. 20 likes received from Heartman just for looking at it? So I guess it's got a little heart symbol on it. It's so adorable. So terrifying yet so very Kojima. Hey, mama. I guess he's just trying to make me find all the cool things in the area. What is that supposed to be? BT model, artist's impression. I mean, they don't look quite as absolutely horrifying as that, but I only ever see them in pixel form, so who the fuck knows? This thing, can I look at the other ones? There we go. BT model, artist's impression, sighting 2. Can I look at all these paintings? I'm getting so many likes on this motherfucker. Is there an achievement for getting all of them? Oh, I bet there is. Look at that. Come on, come on, come on. That would be... I assumed that was Higgs, but I guess not. That's just a regular-ass BT. Is he trying to make himself look like BT's thing? Because I've never really noticed the whole, skull face thing, because like I said, they're always pixelated and a little bit too melty to ever tell. Cryptobiotes discovered immediately after the stranding. Okay. This thing? Yep, there we go. Unknown ore recovered from Void Out crater. This thing. This thing. This thing. Come on. This thing then. The other thing. Any of these things. Okay, there we go. Ordovician period or recovered from Turbo. I mean, that could be... I have no idea what period that's supposed to be. But I imagine that is well before the dinosaurs, well before, you know, history as we know it, or as anyone has ever fucking known it. There we go, what's that? The heart monitor. Guardian of life. Anything else? This particularly delicious looking rug? Nope. That over there? This thing? The death march? Antique record player. I don't see anything else that I can look at. Unless it finally starts letting me look at all the other boxes. That's just cryptobiotes. I look at the picture of his family. Oh, hello! Nendoroid Jumbo Ludens, whatever the fuck that means. Come on, there's gotta be more on this fucking bookshelf, no? I mean, some things are lit up and everything. There we go, just... Photo of the beach immediately post-Death Stranding. Authenticity unverified. I mean, who the fuck would have been able to do that? Oh god, okay, his daughter. Heartman's daughter. Oh, we got like 20 seconds, gotta find his wife. That's the whole family, there we go. Aww, they were so much prettier than you. You were a lucky man. I see why you'd want them back. The Arbiter of Life. Cool, okay. There is nothing else here, right? I don't think so, but I don't want to... Okay, 3, 2, 1. Really hope I didn't miss out on anything. I didn't realize we had to do that until like 40 seconds in. He's wearing fucking Vans or something. You look so stupid. Vans in general look fucking stupid, but you know.
Oh, sorry. Where were we? I may be used to the 21-minute cycle, but for a first-time face-to-face meeting, there's just too much to cover in one go-around.
Can't be easy living like this.
Yes. And no.
I wouldn't really call it living, my dude.
It isn't especially onerous. Defecation, ablution, nutrition. Most of life's basic functions fit rather easily.
Why can't you just say shitting and eating, like most normal people would?
Sleep is the tricky one. And intercourse, I suppose. Verbal or physical. Not that someone in my position has to worry
you only
much
need a
about
minute, dude.
Either. Do you read, Sam? Listen to music. Watch films?
I mean, we do listen to music.
I keep busy.
I don't think Sam even knows what a film is.
Music, television shows, some very interesting short films, and stories. Everything consumable within a 21-minute window. All from before the Death Stranding, of course.
21 Minutes of Love, a 1914 short, best known as the King of Silent Comedy's directorial debut.
I spend here, all downtime, nothing more. Time spent waiting to go back to the Satch. My body may be present, but my soul is on the beach. I'm already dead.
I know that feeling. Lost my family.
Like everyone we fucking know. Jesus Christ. I get the feeling it's going to be all of them at this point.
Open up to me.
I mean, dead man's a fuck. Stop doing that, please. You're the one who invented this shit.
Your circumstances. I lost my family.
I mean, dead man's a corpse. Mama was a corpse. Be surprised if Hardman wasn't a corpse.
I was in the ICU having heart surgery, out of town, in the city. When it was clear that I was going to pull through, my wife took my daughter back to the house to collect some things for me. And then they were caught in the void outs. The city and the hospital were spared the worst, but the shockwave knocked out the power and my life support. I woke up on the beach.
Oh no, what? This is horrible. This isn't a beach. How can you have this many people dead at once on the same beach? Well, I guess it works the same way as World War I and the World War II beach did. A lot of people dying in the same place. Just end up in the same one? But you seem to be the only one even vaguely conscious. Why is everyone so fucking zombie-like?
What happened?
I guess you just sort of copy whatever the fuck else is going on, but what everyone else is doing. Which is slowly waddling into the deep. As they should. As they should.
I saw my wife and my daughter in the procession. Hey!
What the fuck is that adorable little tattoo?
Where are you going? Wait!
So you're having a fucking heart attack while you're... Oh, that's you being, like...
No!
Resuscitated, I guess.
Please, don't go!
With a defibrillator. That's what it's called. There we go. This game has an obsession with going inside of people's mouths, doesn't it?
Back to life by the
and whilst I've been in someone else's other than Sam's,
exactly
or a hentai whale.
21 minutes after my heart had stopped. And that was the last time I saw my family. It's my damned heart.
How can you still do the science, though?
But it's also the reason I'll see
Wouldn't
them
your
again
brain
someday.
It become incredibly damaged with 21 minutes and no oxygen?
Heartman. Ever since, I've walked the beaches of others. I follow my family's footsteps for a while, and when I get tired, I return here to continue my research. It's funny though, even when my heart stops, the pain lingers. You have any family photographs, Sam? Pity.
I mean, you do. You still have that one, don't you?
You mind telling me what I'm doing here before you go back to the beach?
Oh, of course. There's a prepper-owned station in this area.
Sam just wants out immediately.
Our scientists station
wastes a fucking hour with this dick.
Before the Death Stranding.
What kind of material?
The Earth has a long memory. It's trying to tell a story, one that goes back to the very beginning. One that not even the Death Stranding could erase. The scientists are all colleagues of mine from the earlier expedition. I'd like you to bring them onto the chiral network. Amelie proposed we establish our research posts along this belt. Despite a worldwide search, this is the only area known to contain fossils from the late Cretaceous period. When the dinosaurs died out. The assumption being that the last ones lived here, and here alone. You see, hiding in the Earth then are memories of a major mass extinction. Clues that could tell us how to survive our predicament. Certainly, That was Amelie's hope as part of the advanced team when she assigned our backup team here. The past informs the present and aids us in building the future. She was careful to impress that upon us before she went west.
3 minutes to cardiac arrest.
Shut up. I'm putting you on mute. Sometime later, we began to observe unusual
He's just gonna
activity
die in our
turbulence
arms,
outside
man. I don't know
Ashwood
what to
City.
do when that happens.
Vast quantities of tar began surfacing, spreading, consuming many of my colleagues, as well as a chiral way station. The whole incident
Oh, good.
defied
Oh,
explanation.
good. And it's still
I
spreading,
think
right?
Higgs is to blame.
I don't know, but we needed that way station. It was essential to expanding the chiral network westward. That's why I'm asking you for your help in building a new one. It won't be much given the handful of equipment we've managed to scrape together. Nothing like the Knot cities, that's for sure. But a knot...
Holy shit, this guy is massive! He's like a foot taller than Sam. This man is 7 foot, like 8.
Scientists on the network, then go to Amelie. Afterwards, we can get back to the important job of researching the deaths.
Ha! Oh, everything's all cushioned. That's cool. I like that. Alright, well, am I hanging around, or do I just leave as soon as humanly fucking possible? I don't know.
Don't worry about him, Sam.
Oh, Sam, fucking
Here,
leave him there. We'll be
absorb the
fine.
impact. I'll unlock the door for you.
I had no idea Sam was so fucking short, though. Is he based on Norman Reedus' height? Aw, what a thoughtful baby boy. You were talking. What the fuck was that? He stole 20 likes away from me? How pissed can you possibly look while dead? That's how pissed. And he gave them back. What was the point in that? Was he was down with that? He was down with my DJ skills? But yeah, today I learned that Norman Reedus is 3 foot tall. I guess there's a reason he likes to be some kind of mechanical giraffe whenever he possibly can. Just like that. Still not as tall as Heartman, though. A snapshot of ages past. Oh god, you again? I still don't trust you, even if Guillermo does again.
The first step is to put a shelter with our scientists on the chiral network. Now, we don't know the first thing about Amelie's status or what Higgs is up to. Now, that's a concern for us as much as you. But we won't know more until we get to Knot City. And that means connecting this region first. You should start with the geologist and the paleontologist. The latter's holding something for the Evo-Devo biologist, so I recommend you save her for last. That way, you can finish a delivery and link up the final site in one go. Once all three are on the grid, come back here.
Okay.
Then we can get to work on the replacement for that lost way station.
But... so the West doesn't necessarily exist? It's just a continuation of Central? Like, I don't need to teleport, is what I'm saying. I guess maybe you don't need to... I didn't need to go across on a
Thermal
boat,
pad.
but...
Indispensable gear for cold weather operations. Especially useful when traversing snow-capped
glorious. Okay. I mean, you say that, but I have a truck, so anything that is supposed to go on my body and all that will never, ever, ever go on my body. I like my truck too much. Take on orders for Sam. Anti-Corellium medication delivery to the geologist. Then the paleontologist. Yeah, this works. This isn't even that far away. I could probably get this done today with like the 10 minutes we have left. I mean, I'm going overtime anyway, so...
He's been exposed to dangerous
I feel like I've been jump cutting way too much not to.
Excavation, and is exhibiting all the associated symptoms. The strata he's dug into apparently contains a fossil beach dating back to the end of the Cretaceous period.
Oh, no
Now,
way!
that could be a significant
Dinosaurs
discovery
get their own
should it be
beaches? Wait, no,
confirmed.
that's not a thing. I thought it was
But
only
we'll never know
humans.
for sure if he can't decontaminate the site and carry on with his work.
Maybe it's some particularly ingenious dinosaurs that we
A
just didn't know about
paleontologist
till
of
now? I
ours needs
mean,
an
I guess
antimatter
it's
bomb
possible.
for an important excavation. Seems the strata he's attempting
You're
to
fucking
reach is
kidding
beneath
me.
a layer of tar,
I'm in a
and he has
I'm
no
on a
choice but
mountain.
to
I can't do
resort
this
to drastic
safely.
measures. The bomb is safely secured in its case, but if you're careless and break the damn thing, you know what'll happen.
Do you know who you're fucking talking to, Hardman? It's going to happen. It's gonna happen like 5,000 times. I mean, when you're on a goddamn mountain trying to get down it in a fucking truck, at the best of times, you're gonna be stubbing your toe, I don't know, at least like 60,000 times? Yeah, this is cruel. This is really fucking cruel. I'll take it, though. I might have to leave it behind and, like, make several trips, but... Holy shit, man.
Historic extinction events. He's been out there conducting excavations for a while now and has begun to suffer the effects of chiral contamination. No doubt the result of excessive exposure to chiralium during the dig. Until the site is properly decontaminated, his work can't proceed. Nor will his health improve. So we need you to bring him some chiralium scrubbing agents.
Administering shock. Stand clear.
How did dead Heartman know that he wanted to come and talk to me? He's just immediately up? Okay, sure, whatever.
Time of the infamous mass extinction, which brought the reign of the dinosaurs to a close, leaving small mammals to inherit the Earth. It's the most recent of the Big Five, and one of the largest mass extinctions the world has ever seen. In any event, our team found
I wonder what the first mass extinction was. Did they just kill a shitload of amoeba? Because, like, who the fuck cares?
Beach. If that is indeed what it is...
Really? It's not like we were just fucking told that.
Therefore, Sam, it is essential that you deliver those chiralium scrubbing agents as soon as possible.
I guess this would prove that it's not just humans who have beaches.
An antimatter bomb.
Also, how come whales keep ending up there and fish? What makes them so fucking special? Why do they get a beach?
The study are buried deep beneath tar, and the only way he can get to them is by blowing it wide open. Now, hopefully I don't need to tell you to be extra careful when handling high-yield explosives. But in case I do, make sure you keep that container in one piece, no matter what.
No, don't you worry, no accidental jihads here. Only purposeful jihads. Let's fucking do it. Except not, please no. Anti-chiralium. I can't even put it on my truck. Why, game? Just make this easy for me for like a second.
I'm sure you haven't forgotten, but you need to be extremely careful with that antimatter bomb.
It has been 3 seconds. Go away. Looks like the goddamn Death Star up there.
Any irregularities should trigger an alarm. Don't ignore it.
Wait, it gets even worse on a carrier? Damn it, that was like my last resort. I thought it was going to be really easy in a carrier. Alright, fine, get in my hand. I could use power gloves and just do it that way, but that involves running, like, the entire fucking the length of America. And I don't really have any desire to do anything like that. So, into the truck you go. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in this session, because then we had a shitload of talky talks to do before we actually got anywhere. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just read a few interviews and leave it at that. Yeah? Does that work out? I think that works out. I just can't believe it takes so long to do this. Why won't you allow me to just drive my truck into your lovely, lovely home? Come on, you selfish prick. There we go. Is that my guns that are rotting away in there? I think that's one of my guns. Oh, I do not want to be using that. Jesus Christ. I think that's the bowler gun as well. I mean, it used to be non-lethal. Now it will at the very least be filling people up to the brim with tetanus. That's fine though, right? I don't think tetanus is gonna make anyone void out. Ugh. Right, so now we're gonna make our way inside. I'm sure these aren't timed. I fucking hope these aren't timed. Do you have any other deliveries for me, by the way? Wow, you actually do. That's surprising. Roboticist, Doctor, Mountain Knot City, Roboticist. No, fuck you. I will have a bot do it. I'll have a bot do all of these, actually. Oh, they get so damaged, but who the hell cares? Go! Accept. Yes. Blah, 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 blah. They say anything different when it's actually coming out of an important place? Aww, he sings a different song. A much more fucking annoying song, but a different song nonetheless. I'm gonna take a nap right outside, Heartman. Because we have like, oh, I don't know, 400 fucking interviews to read. And 2 mail as well. Starting with the Mountaineer. How's that climbing anchor treating you? I don't care about this. Come on, it's gotta be better than this, right? At least it's tiny. Thanks for helping me out there. Back there, Sam. Out of curiosity, you have a chance to use that climbing anchor I gave you? It's pretty special, you know. The missus used to use it. It was custom made for her by a chiral craftsman. It's super light and durable. Just the thing for rough terrain like this. She wants you to have it. A way of thanking you for helping to bring our baby boy into the world. He's hoping you get plenty of use out of it. Alright, and the spiritualist. Sam, do you recall the handprint you brought me? Well, I hope you're sitting down, because when I analysed it, I discovered that it was 65 million years old. It dates back to the late Cretaceous period, when the dinosaurs became extinct. I did fear perhaps it was just the rock, and the handprint itself had been added much later, but that seems not to be the case. Could someone have travelled through time via the beach in order to leave it? If not, how could it possibly have been made? I plan to look into the matter further, and will get in touch when I learn more. If you happen to stumble across anything that might shed light on this mystery, you'll let me know too, won't you? I guess so. Thank fuck there weren't like a billion of those things. I was really dreading checking the mail there. I was travelling for a hell of a long time. Who's this from? This is from Heartman as well. Conveniently, we're literally in his house right now. History of the Odradek. When? Oh, hold on. Ah, there's no private room here, is there? Maybe there is. I mean, it's a pretty important place. Get the fuck up, Sam. No time for rest. Literally ever. Nope, no private room for us. Okay, I just wanted to put the music on, but I guess that's not fucking allowed now, is it? Ugh, do I really have to go through the cutscene of waiting for him to fucking sit down every single time? Yes, I do. Yes, I fucking do. Okay. Data, interviews, where it at? Odradek, hello? I miss you. Does the name Sigmund Freud mean anything to you? He was a famous psychologist. Wasn't, like, everything he ever did disproved? Or is that someone else? I'm pretty sure that's Freud, right? Or at least it's under very much scrutiny, like, all the time. At least a lot of his shit's been disproved. The most famous of them all, perhaps. But I digress. Freud formulated one of his most famous theories after observing his grandson playing with a spool of thread. The boy would throw the spool under the bed, thus ensuring that he could not see it anymore. He would then wind the thread in his hand, gradually drawing the spool back towards him until it became visible again. He repeated this process several times. It was apparently a game he played whenever his mother was elsewhere. Freud proposed that the process of concealing and rediscovering the spool was a coping mechanism, a way in which the boy could put his mind at ease. You see, the boy was in control of the spool. He could make it disappear and reappear at will. This helped him to comprehend his mother's absence, not as something sudden or irrational, but as something controlled, and therefore not a cause for concern. A novelist named Franz Kafka later coined a term for this spool of thread. Odradek. Oh shit, I knew it would have, like, roots somewhere, but I couldn't even fucking tell. I couldn't even figure out what language that shit comes from, but, like, Franz... That's either, like, what, German, but Kafka doesn't sound German at all. Austrian, which is basically the same shit as German, or there's any number of places that Franz could be from. But still, however, he conceived it as an object capable of speech and an autonomous movement, a mysterious being, neither dead nor alive. The Odradeks we use are perhaps not so different. These interfaces through which we experience our BB's perception of their surroundings are not unlike spools of thread, a connection between our world and the other side, the living and the dead, human and BB. I mean, sure? Harmon is just full of reaches, isn't he? That doesn't quite make sense to me. I thought it was, I was like, well, they don't really disappear and reappear at will. I guess maybe you could argue that they make BTs disappear and reappear at will. Or, like, just because of the scan, but that's not, that's just sort of by design. That, well, I guess, you know what I mean. That's just the way it's made as opposed to its actual function. Like, I'm sure you could just scan permanently. If you had to upgrade it or anything, it'd still be called an Odradek. So, sure, whatever, Heartman. That makes no sense whatsoever. BTs come in all shapes and sizes. Maybe it's just a really cool name. Who the fuck knows? 2 years ago, although eyewitness testimony has led us to identify several types of BTs, perhaps the most interesting of all are the entities which may not be BTs at all. The subjects in question bear some resemblance to jellyfish, and are visible to those even without dooms. While we have little information concerning their physiology and behavior, upon detecting the presence of a human, they will attack by rapidly approaching their target before exploding. I've never seen one of these, have I? And I never ever fucking want to. Disturbing, to say the least. Especially given that they appear to be impervious to small arms fire. Though perhaps we can take comfort in the fact that they do not seem to be capable of causing void outs. Our best guess at the moment is that these are a subspecies of BT, one that does not form as a result of human death. Beyond that, they are a complete mystery. Perhaps when the repatriate Sam Porter chooses to join Bridges, we can attempt to develop a means of dealing with this new threat. In the meantime, however, we can but continue to study and speculate. Next is near-death experience. Until 1 year ago in Heartman's lab, by the way, one sec. Until relatively recently, death could only be studied from the perspective of an external observer, as the experience of one's own death could not be communicated to another. A collaborative investigation of the phenomenon was fundamentally impossible, but through the examination of subjects in near-death states and the cataloguing of their experiences, we have at last been able to bring the scientific method to bear on one of this most final of frontiers. That's not my fault. He words things really fucking weirdly. Goddamn Brits. Even those in a state of so-called brain death exhibit signs of consciousness. What could this possibly mean? Moreover, why does some on the brink of death report out-of-body experiences? Furthermore, why do so many of those who have such experiences describe the same sensations of being beckoned toward a distant light, of an objective reality, of a place beyond life? I mean, because that's what they've been conditioned to think, no? I think that's the sort of well-known stereotype. I guess stereotype? It's not the word I meant to go for, but, you know, that's what everyone is taught. Is like, that's the trope, right? You know, you're having a near-death experience, you see a light at the end of the tunnel, you also maybe have a bit of a floaty time above your own corpse. Like, that's why. It's a hallucination, obviously. Like, shut up. Many had argued that these commonalities were evidence of objective reality, of a place beyond life, if nothing else. They at least suggested that death was not an instantaneous change of states, but a process. The beach has since proven much of this beyond a doubt. And well, I guess in the world of Death Stranding, then yes, it is absolutely a thing. A light at the end of the tunnel is just the beach, which isn't really a light. It's this grey, depressing shithole. But whatever, I'll take it. And the dead rising again as BTs through necrosis demonstrates this process in action. The place beyond life is no longer a theoretical possibility. Its existence must be taken as an incontrovertible fact. So that means controvertible is a word? What? Just speak normal fucking English, dude. Use irrefutable or something like that. No one in their right mind will ever fucking say that word. Only Kojima. Only Kojima. Cave paintings and stencils. Heartman, 1 year ago in Heartman's lab. Cave paintings provide an invaluable window into the lives of our ancestors, how they lived, what they experienced. Some have been preserved here on our continent, although most have sadly been lost in void outs. The oldest cave paintings are all believed to date back 64,800 years or more. But all of these are, or perhaps were, in Europe. What's become of them, I wonder? Have they too been obliterated in annihilation events? If not, are the caves containing them now infested with BTs? Does Europe exist, even? One cannot help but worry that these vital records have been lost to us forever. But I digress. These first paintings were likely made by the Neanderthals. They were crude depictions of creatures such as deer, bison, and horses, interspersed with stenciled outlines of large hands. Some assert that these are signatures of primeval painters. But could they not also be depictions of BT handprints? Could our ancient relatives have been trying to tell us something, or issue a warning? Or is that perhaps one flight of fancy too far? Everything you ever say is like 2,000 flights of fancy too far. But I guarantee you they're going to end up being real because, you know, Death Stranding. BTs and void outs. 3 years ago in Heartman... No, in Bridges HQ for once. Okay. Now, I'm sure he explained it, but how the fuck does he get around in 21-minute periods? I guess he's just constantly got all his equipment hooked up to him. Maybe he only does need that little box attached to his nipple. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess that is where all of the human life force is stored. In your left nipple, 100%. The following conclusions are largely derived from a handful of eyewitness accounts. While I would advise to anyone to take them with a grain of salt, I still believe they are worth sharing. BTs pursue their prey through a multi-step process. In the first, they begin searching for a target. What? Hello? Where the fuck did you go? This one right here? There we go. In the first, they begin searching for a target. The handprints left behind is evidence of this behavior. Upon detection, one or more BTs will attempt to seize the target and drag it towards a much larger entity. To clarify, however, a void out does not occur at the point of contact between the giant and the human, but only once a human has been subsumed by the giant's body. We think this may be because this is the only place where antimatter is present within the entity. It goes without saying that BTs are entirely different from any creature of this world, and we have much to learn about them still. One thing is for certain, however, we must come to understand them, else we may never overcome the existential threat that they pose. And he's got one last one. Bridges needs Homo ludens. 2 years ago, I have already spoken at length about the new varieties of man that have emerged in the wake of chiral pollution and the resulting phobias. Homo demons, my fucking favourite, and Homo gestalt, not to mention those touched by dooms. This much is common knowledge. I, however, would posit that we could further categorize humans of this day and age. Take our comrades Bomber and Lochner, for example. They are creators, are they not? People who use tools to make things. Craftspeople. Homo faber. Considered dead man. One who looks the dead in the eyes every day. One who takes their organs as his own. His relationship with death is transcendental. Sublime. It is, in essence, his faith. And he is a homo religious. Or religiosus, or something like that. I love it so much. But I mean, why do you need to classify these people? Dead man is not a species. He's not his own breed of human. He is built by someone else. In essence, he's just, he's an artificial human. If there were more of him, I would understand needing to classify that shit. But you don't. There's no need, right? As far as we know, he's the only one. And even if he's not the only one, there's such a tiny amount of them, they're basically not irrelevant, but negligible in the grand scheme, whereas they clearly don't need their own fucking species or classification. And even Mama, like craftsman. That's an occupation, my dude. That is not a species. Like, even in other species, you know, there are, let's look at chimps. I know that they are very similar to us, so it's possibly a bad example, but you have the hunter-gatherers. You have those that stay home and protect the fucking tribe and the camp, or, you know, the chimp equivalent of the camp. You have the ones that look after the young, which aren't always mums. Like, sometimes they will genuinely, I nearly said employ, you know what I mean, like designate certain chimps who are particularly good at dealing with young to deal with the damn young. You have ones that create tools and literally give those tools to other chimps like the hunter-gatherers. You have ones that just use tools in general. It's an occupation. And if it's not just our species that does this, so what? Are you going to then just break up the entire chimp species? They're the same fucking animal. It's not like if two craftsmen craftsman, craftswoman, fuck and create a little crafts baby. It's not like that baby is then guaranteed to come out as a craftsman, right? Like, that is not genetic. That is external influence or whatever, like world influence, environmental factors or whatever the fuck, right? Look at me getting all scientific while my brain is full of tree semen and I can barely link two words together, so I'm kind of proud of myself here. Probably spouting complete nonsense, which I will see in the edit, but oh well. So yeah, like, shut up. That's really stupid. Why is Heartman like our lead beach scientist when he clearly just needs help? We need to incarcerate this man. Not incarcerate. Sanatorium, section this man. We'll go with that. As for myself, Homo loquens, a linguist, one who seeks to understand this world through the language of science and logic. Well, that's not linguist. You're a scientist. If you're a linguist, you'd be writing fucking books and learning about the language alone. You are not doing that. There is, however, another very special type of human. A breed that would serve Bridges rather well. Homo ludens. They who play. But be it deliberate or unintentional, Homo ludens unite people, creating culture, shaping the very world around them, not through violence, nor laws, or prescriptions, but rather through metaphorical acts of play. I know of only one person who matches this description, the one they call the Great Deliverer, Sam Porter. Despite Die Hardman's best efforts, however, his whereabouts are still unknown. So even 2 years ago, Sam was a fucking master, yet I was a relative nobody? No one knew about me? I guess that was sort of Sam's objective, though? He wanted to stay off the grid because everyone thought he was a goddamn terrorist, which I guess is why he relates to Fragile so much. Lochner and malaria. Okay. 3 years ago at Bridges HQ. You know what we used to dream about? Seeing what's beyond those clouds up there. This is the worst voice I could have ever given her, but we're going with it. Whatever. We spent our whole lives beneath a Corellium sky. That's all we've ever known. We also know the world used to be so much bigger. Our parents told us. They were researchers who worked for NASA. Oh, awesome, okay. Though these days, most people wouldn't know what that was. It went up in smoke around the same time America did. And all our parents' work went with it. But we still have our dreams. The one thing our parents gave us that can never be taken away. Malingen and I were named after a pair of craters left by meteors, which struck the Earth 450 million years ago. I mean, Lochner is a weirdly pretty name. It's sort of clunky and gross to begin with, but it sounds nice. It flows well. Malingen just sounds disgusting. Why would you ever do that? You've already named your daughter after a big hole. You can't really do much. Well, you can pick a better crater than that, can't you? At least name them after the comets as well, as opposed to the hole. Those craters are proof that this planet is part of something bigger, that we exist within a vast interconnected universe. Our names serve as a reminder of this fundamental truth, symbols of our parents' hope that our isolation is only temporary. That's why we joined Bridges, too, to bring the people of this country together again, and to one day reunite this planet with the greater universe that surrounds it. I really like them. I really like not Lochner and Mama or Malingen, whatever the fuck. It's gonna be so hard for me to get used to calling her Mulligan, because it is so thoroughly gross, and she's not a thoroughly gross person. She was a little bit of an undead Karen, which is the worst kind of Karen, but still, I don't know. To Malingen? I guess we'll read these last four, assuming they're not impeccably long. They're huge. These are very, very large. It's from the photographer's mother. Okay, it's not even from the photographer herself. Prepper interview, the photographer. The photographer's mother, 1 year ago, personal shelter. Wasn't that long before we moved into this shelter. The three of us. Before that, we used to live in a city. Until my husband up and said we had to leave. He was so insistent, and I didn't have any choice but to go along with it. I couldn't take care of our daughter by myself. He said he was sick of the city life, and I can't say I don't understand it all. I mean, timefall may not have been an issue, or BTs, but I can see how safe and comfortable... What? But I could see how a safe and comfortable life might become suffocating. So let's go ahead and put our infant daughter in endless danger, shall we? By living on our own and relying on literally climbing up and down the most dangerous mountain I've ever fucking seen to even get items as basic as a fucking sandwich. But whatever. Our daughter might be happy and healthy. We're the exception. Hardly anyone's even having children these days. You don't need a crystal ball to see where the world's headed. My husband says we're bound for extinction. Says nobody's doing anything about it, so you know what you gotta do? You gotta fuck. You gotta be the one family in the entire world to repopulate everywhere. I know you're like 70. You still got like one little egg rattling around in there, right? Right? Well, one isn't gonna repopulate the entire world. Unless you give birth to a very, very big child. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, Brain, what was any of that? Please stop being so shattered. People'd rather stick their heads in the sand and wait out the storm. If we don't figure out the Death Stranding and fix this world of ours, that's all she wrote. My husband says that a lot. That maybe he's just a guy with a camera, but at least he's doing something, and so on. He's out again somewhere, investigating something. Recently he started taking our daughter with him, teaching her to take photos of rocks and murals and the like. I'm glad they're spending time together, and I know it's good for our education. I still hate it when they go out and leave me here to wait and pray that they come home safe and sound. Then maybe go with them. Like, you all got more chance surviving on your, like, all together, right? And again, I guess you'd be using up way too much. I don't know. I mean, you could all use the same ladder. You can all use the same PCCs. Or are porters basically the only ones who use shit like that? I don't know. I don't know if it's reserved technology just for the bridges, lads. We take a quick drink. The PCCs, not ladders. I imagine most people know what a ladder is. Prepper interview. The Mountaineer. Mountaineer husband. 1 year ago, personal shelter. People aren't meant to stay cooped up, inside, or live in one place forever. It's not natural. Exploration's in our DNA. Excuse me. It seems like a dig at me sitting here for 8 hours straight playing fucking Death Stranding. If you don't want me to play you Death Stranding, then maybe I fucking won't. No, I can't resist you. I'm here forever. The great outdoors is where we're supposed to be. You know, our ancestors started out in Africa, right? I mean, that's completely... The Africa part's right, but our outdoors where we're supposed to be. Like, the first thing we did when we grew half a brain is created shelters or lived in caves. We don't belong in the fucking great outdoors, or we would be able to survive out in the harsh conditions of the outdoors. Like, you know, other animals that are supposed to be in the outdoors. I know every animal seeks shelter sometimes, but, well, not everyone. We're not built for harsh environments, at least not anymore, not modern humans. Maybe old school, incredibly muscular, badass African warrior humans were built for the outdoors, but who the fuck knows? I don't know. Yeah, we started out in Africa. Well, they didn't just stay there, did they? Well, that was because of Pangea, you idiot, wasn't it? Or like the last... No, of course not. What the fuck am I talking about? Did I seriously just claim that humans were around like 40 billion years ago? I think I did. Good job, idiot brain. But yeah, I mean... How did we all migrate years and years ago? I mean, I know the world did not look the same. How long have humans been around? It's like 100,000 years, right? Hey Siri. How long have humans been around?
Okay, I found this on the web for how long have humans been around. Check it out.
Our ancestors have been around 6 million years, meaning Neanderthals and the other primates that weren't quite as stupid as regular apes. Oh, I got a fucking text through and it took away my Siri thing. Fuck you, text. I don't want to be popular. Yeah, I think it said 90,000 years or something like that. Huh. The world couldn't have looked all that different, right? I'll figure it out eventually. I did know things like this. I used to love history like this, but I don't understand how allergies have taken away so much of my brain power. It's never happened to me before. This is the worst year I've ever had with it. I just hope I am still managing to entertain you while I'm basically retarded. They wanted to try and find better life, better home. That's why humanity spread all across the planet. And as we traveled, we've evolved. Little by little, we've grown tougher and smarter. Even our immune systems have become stronger. And if we stop moving, stop exploring, that all stops too. We stagnate as a species, maybe even regress. That's why we can't hole up in cities. There's a whole universe beyond those chiral clouds that I'd love to explore someday. If that's not possible, then I want to at least get as close as I can. Climb the biggest mountains. Go as high... I hate this so much. Go as high as I can go. And try to see what lies beyond. And I want to do it with the love of my life. The world-class mountaineer who showed me the beauty of this place. My guiding star. Together, there's no peak we can't summit. Oh, so she was the one who originally got you into all this shit. Ah, aren't you ever so slightly adorable? A bit, sorta, kinda. Personal shelter, the spiritualist, 1 year ago. No one has been able to explain the Death Stranding, and I doubt that anyone ever will. Certainly not with science. Science is only suitable for observation, measurement, objectivity. So you mean facts? So you mean it's only good for proving what the Death Stranding was? And anything you say is just speculation and bullshit? Because you're clearly uneducated? What do you mean? You can observe and measure as much as you like, but it will bring you no closer to an understanding. You guys seeing this shit? She is talking the complete opposite of what is the truth. Okay. Sometimes you need to expand your mind and open your heart. Seek the souls of the dead. Listen for the waves on the beach. In antiquity, there were no barriers between the realms. People move freely between the Earth, outer space, and the world of the... I don't think that's particularly true, little lady. What are myths and legends, if not records of these journeys? Shit people dreamed up because the old school fucking universe... I mean, Earth was incredibly boring when we didn't have video games, you know? And also, just because we couldn't explain phenomena. Like, the most basic example is the sun, obviously. Like, we had no idea what this thing that kept showing up, like, how is it moving in the morning and then going away as night comes, it's back, it's going to kill us, we better praise it, so it keeps coming back, etc. That's how it's explainable, because early humans were fucking stupid, and because science hadn't advanced that much yet. Which means your stupid little ideas right here, lady, are gonna go away while science advances enough, because this is exactly the same as a 2,000-year-old myth. You moron. Sorry, I hate shit like this. As much as I would love, like, all my Viking ancestry myths to be true. Yeah, actually, no, I wouldn't. The pig of eternal bacon would have devoured us all by now. God, I love my Viking gods. I can't read. Here we go. My research has only confirmed this. The pyramids of Egypt and Mesoamerica, the Nazca lines, Stonehenge, all gateways built by humans in order to access the beach. Actually, Stonehenge is a clock, isn't it? Like, it's to measure astro shit. When it lines up in a particular way, they know what time it is. That's been proven for years. What? What is wrong with this lady? Have you ever heard of Google? All your answers are like 3 fucking seconds away, girl. Surely you can see that the wisdom of the ancients have never been more relevant. The people of Bridges would do well to remember that. No, I think that would drive us into the ground and turn us back to the fucking Stone Age, you idiot. Remind me never to ever, ever, ever talk to this lady again. The Doctor. I know what you're thinking. Why is this prepper claiming to be a doctor? Don't worry, you're not the first. Rest assured that I really am a doctor. I even have a medical license, though the governing body that issued to it to me is long gone. So I won't be offended if that counts for little. License or no, people still need doctors. Preppers get sick too, you know. It's not so hard for you to get your head around, is it? Okay. Please calm down. You're being really nice at first. Now you're suddenly calling me stupid. And unfortunately, right now with all these allergies, you're very right. My, 400-figure IQ has dropped to about 3. Not even 3 figures. Like, the number 3. I think that's worse than a goldfish. But, whatever. Let's go with it. You would have more entertainment if a goldfish was doing this Let's Play right now, I assure you. Most folks haul themselves off to a city, hospital, and there's something wrong. But out in the boonies, I love that word, that's not really an option. But we can't just leave those people to die. You know full well what would follow, and so do I. And so I do what I can to help. Around here, I'm the only one people can rely on to keep them alive. Whenever I'm needed, I try to find someone to transport me to a patient's residence. That's hardly the most efficient approach, and it doesn't endear me to the porters either. I've heard that Bridges is trying to bring everyone into their chiral network. If it's as good as I've heard, it will be a real game changer. I could perform all sorts of diagnoses and even some treatments without having to leave my shelter. I hope you manage to extend it here soon. There's a lot of people out there counting on us both. I made the smart guy British. Take that, Yanks. No, I'm kidding. Oh, God, I need to go down here. I didn't realize there were this many. There's so many. Damn it. Did I read this? Is this one already done? I think that one was already done. Fragile's... Yeah, it definitely was. Fragile's umbrella, though. You think that... Who's this from? Just a random staff guy? Sure. 2 years ago in South North City. You think that thing Fragile carries an umbrella? I can see why you jumped to that conclusion, with the shape and all. But you're wrong. If it's any consolation, I thought it was an umbrella too at first. It's actually some kind of navigational device that Fragile came up with herself. I won't pretend to understand the theory behind it. But I'm told it factors chiral density across beaches, plots coordinates for our jumps. Fragile's got some kind of dooms that lets her move from beach to beach. Wait a minute. So you know that my shoes stay on when we, during sex. No, I mean, you know that when we do Fragile jumps, my shoes stay on. My, mechanical arse stays on. Now, I know that's probably just for convenience on the player's side, But at the same time, it sort of stands to reason that in lore, if it's incredibly close to you or attached to you, then you could still teleport with it, right? So, my question is, why didn't Fragile just cram the nuke into her mouth and then just do a little teleport shit? Wouldn't that have worked? I know it sounds absolutely stupid, and that's because it is, but it's also sort of possible, right? She would have looked absolutely stupid, but at least she wouldn't now look incredibly stupid in that she's like 133 years old from the neck down. It's a goddamn train wreck in all the places you kinda need it not to be a train wreck, you know? See, if I was Fragile, I would be looking young, gorgeous, and, well, I mean, my mouth would forever be gaping. And potential, I don't know, like, I imagine you sort of have to, like, I imagine jumping across dimensions would make you grit your teeth a little bit. If you let a nuke go off inside of your mouth, I don't think she'll be looking all that great now. But whatever, it's the price she has to pay. Anyway, the way she tells it, she kind of clears her mind and lets her powers do the rest. Maybe it's something similar with the spikes on her suit. When Fragile senses chiralium concentrations, they pop out. I'm not sure if she'd be able to tell otherwise. It's like an unconscious reaction. The spikes only retract when chiral density decreases. But who knows? Names and theories are just ways of coping with things we don't really understand. Same with visual indications of the intangible. Maybe. All I can say is that Fragile's umbrella and spikes seem to help her hone her powers. And Manhattan, I have to read these now because I accidentally hovered over them so the little exclamation mark is gone. And I know that I will forget that I haven't read these yet, so... From the report on the void out in Manhattan. From recorder unknown, recording date and time unknown, and where unknown. Who the hell? Those were the doctor's final words. At the time, no one knew to whom he was referring. To be fair, there were more pressing issues at hand. The doctor in question was a surgeon, specializing in cesarean sections. The procedure he was undertaking at the time, however, was slightly unusual, in that he was operating on a mother who had been declared brain dead 7 months into her pregnancy. Holy shit! She had been placed on life support, but since her blood pressure was decreasing and the fetus was showing signs of bradycardia... Yep, I know what that means. Hey Siri. Define bradycardia. Holy shit, it understood me. Abnormally slow heart action. Alright, sure, whatever. Slow boy Brady. The decision was made to operate because the procedure was broadcast to a medical researchers on a closed-circuit network. We are What? I guess that's meant to say fortunate? We are fortunate to have a record of what took place. Per the footage, the incision was made without incident. The plan was apparently to remove the fetus from the womb, immediately place it in an NCU, or an NICU, a NICU, whatever the hell that is, where it would receive the necessary care. Prior to this, the surgeon would of course have to cut the umbilical cord. This is the moment that changed everything. The moment the surgeon's hand touched the cord. In that instance, he muttered his infamous last words. Who the hell? Can we learn more about that? I'm trying to think about who that could possibly be related to. We don't know any... I guess it's just BT's umbilical cords, etc. I hope it wasn't this doctor that just caused everything, for fuck's sake. Same shit in, like, the title of who, when, where, etc. Except this one is number 2. Following a number of tests and experiments, the conclusion was reached that this incident was an annihilation event brought about by the doctor's contact with whatever, or whomever, he had seen upon touching the umbilical cord, though it eventually became apparent that the doctor had been referring to BTs. At the time, no one could explain the underlying cause of the incident. Some later theorized that if the same conditions, brain-dead mother, fetus, umbilical cord, could be recreated, the BTs could be detected and the mystery of the Death Stranding would be solved. Indeed, this was the theoretical basis which the government's own experiments and investigation would be conducted. How do you make a lady brain dead? Did they force it? Or did they just get really lucky and find one? Oh no, that's what the still mothers are, isn't it? Ah, that's fun. That's really fucking fun. How did they make these? Did they just steal them away? Did the women volunteer? I highly doubt it. They called the fetuses that they used bridge babies, and the experiments became known as the BB experiments. Soon after the government's program got underway, the tragedy of Manhattan occurred. And number 3. The BB experiments were conducted at a Manhattan-based government facility in such extreme secrecy that little is known about them to this day. One thing that we do know for certain, however, is that the experiments ended in tragic failure, and were directly responsible for the total annihilation of the island of Manhattan, as well as the death of the president, who had been observing operations firsthand. He was succeeded by then Vice President Bridget Strand, who shortly after our inauguration put an end to all further BB experiments and had all data destroyed. That is not what Big Papa Deadman found out. She stole that data away for herself. Mama's a bit of a monster, huh? As in, our mum, not mama, not Malingan mama. Oh god, this game's so confusing. Can't I just say any normal word without it for some reason being the name of a character in Death Stranding? And why does Heartman and Hardman both have to exist in the same game? You make me want to die. With her strong and steadfast leadership in the wake of the Void Out, she made great strides in quelling the chaos and unrest that had spread throughout the nation. She vowed to rebuild America, and devoted herself wholeheartedly to this end. In response, separatists who opposed Reconstruction emerged and steadily grew more aggressive in their activities. One faction even managed to acquire documents relating to the BB experiments, and some speculate that this data was then used to restart them in secret. At that time, however, no BB units are known to have been successfully created, and BBs in general remained a taboo subject in government circles. Well, other than the Unknown Man's Journal, which we can't really do yet because I've got half of it and not the fucking first half for some reason, then I guess that's where we will leave it today. Once again, I do want to apologize, as I have been at the end of like every session, but I feel like I should, you know. I am sorry that I'm so fucking thoroughly warm and full of allergies and tired and everything from the warmth and shit like that my brain just doesn't particularly function. I feel like I'm running on about 10% instead of 20 these days. It just feels like it's getting a little bit worse. But as soon as summer's over, as soon as this intense heat goes away, I'm sure we will be back to normal. I also get autumn allergies sometimes, so that'll be fun. Holy shit, nah. If we got them in summer this fucking bad, I highly doubt I'm gonna remain this fucking terrible all throughout autumn. Or if I do, it'll just be a little bit of the sniffles. So, yeah, once again, I do apologize if commentary is not quite up to the standard that it normally is. I assure you that it will be coming back to normal as soon as the allergy shit goes away. But yeah, I really hope I am still just entertaining enough for you guys, or way more than entertaining enough. So yeah, thank you for watching and putting up with my absolute maniacal ramblings while I remain this sick, and I'll see you in the next one. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, share, comment, all that amazing stuff. It really does help out both me and the channel, and I will see you in the next one. But for now, this is Strike signing off. I'm gonna go have a fucking cold shower. It is so hot here. Goodbye!